And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with the Game Boy Geek.
Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Today we're going down the dungeon and trying to get some treasures. We're going to be running from a dragon. This is called Dragon's Run from Blue Orange Games. It's 2 to 5 players. It's a quick 15-minute press your luck game from Bruno Cathata and Ludovic Barbie. Let's take a look. I'll show you how it's played. I'll see you on the other side. In Dragon Run, it's a press your luck game where you're trying to loot and get some treasure without getting killed, and the game ends when the dragon gets all the way down to temporal level and he falls asleep. Everyone gets a special roll that gives them a special ability during the game. We'll talk about some of these later. And at the beginning, each player gets 4 of these treasure cards each. And we start the dragon out at 5, 6, 7, 8 for 2, 3, 4, or 5 players. Here we have 4 players. Now, on your turn, you have 3 choices, and you have to make one of them. It's mandatory. Before that, you can elect to use your special ability. Again, more on those abilities later when they make more sense to you. So you can do a special ability if you want at the beginning of the round, assuming this is a fresh round, there's a new dungeon. And you can do one of 3 things. One is you can charge into another room in the dungeon. You flip up, there's only 10 of these cards. You flip up one of these cards and it will say something. The green here means it's okay, it's good. You draw a treasure card and you may take another turn. The green footprint with a question mark means you may make another turn or you can stop if you want. So I will take this and secretly look at it, and this shows me it's worth 3. No, it's not worth 6. I know it's just so you can hold cards in left or right-handed. It's only 3. I would take this in my hand and not show anybody, and this would be mine. Now, I can do it again, or I can press my luck. Let's press my luck. Let's go again. Ooh, another one. Draw a treasure card. You may take another turn. Ooh, good. I'll draw this. Ooh, we have a talisman. This does some special things. Now, there's 3 talismans in the game and 6 potions that are part of the treasure deck, and we'll talk about what these do later when they make more sense. Now, let's press my luck a little further. I'll go again. Ooh, this one says take another turn, and I have to do it because there's not a question mark there. Ooh, another good card. Draw a treasure. You may take another turn. So take another treasure. Ooh, that one has a lot. 5. Now, instead of charging, there's 2 other actions you can possibly take. One is you can cry like a baby. And by crying like a baby, you discard any treasure that you have as 2 or more, and you don't get any change. So I didn't have one that had 2. I have to get rid of one that has 3. I throw it out, I get no change, and it becomes the next player's turn. That player has the same 3 options. They can charge, they can cry like a baby and pay treasure to make someone else go, or they can hide. Hide you haven't seen yet. What we do is we take these cards and we see how many are left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 cards left in the dungeon. They roll this 10-sided die and they have to get higher than a 6. So 7, 8, 9, or 10, and they got a 1 and they failed. Now, if they failed, I must charge into the next room. Ooh, the next player cannot cry like a baby and I have to stop. So now it's the next player's turn and he can't cry like a baby. Then maybe he tries to hide. So now there's only 5 cards in there. So he has to roll higher than a 5. 3, that player has to charge. Boom. Draw or discard until you have exactly 4 treasures. So if you have more than 4, you get a discard. If you have less than 4, that's actually not a bad card, but they have to stop. It's the next player's turn. Maybe he wants to hide. There's only 4 left. We know the dragon's in there. We don't want to get hit. We have to roll higher than a 4. Oh, 1, I have to charge. Oh, it's the dragon. So whoever that was that got hit by a dragon would flip their card over and now they're injured. If they were already injured when this happened and they got hit by the dragon, they are dead. Now what you do is you take all those cards that were in the dungeon, you'd shuffle them up and you'd move the dragon down by 1. And then you'd start again. Now, if when we tried to hide, let's say there was 4 cards left and we rolled a 7. Well, we successfully hid. And in that same case, the same thing would happen. Nobody would get hurt, but we would shuffle up the dragon deck, the dungeon deck, and we would go down 1. That's pretty much how you do it. You got 3 choices, you're moving up and down, and the temper's going down like this. And the game ends when either everybody's killed or until the dragon gets here. When that happens, you add up all your treasures. The one with the most wins. Now let's look at the special abilities and some of the special treasure cards. Now, the warrior special ability is cool. He gets to roll this 10-sided die, and depending on what he rolls, cool things might happen. Something, he might have to lose a point of damage, or he might get a lot of treasure, or some treasure, depending on what he rolls. The scout gets to take a sneak peek at the top of the dungeon deck and see what's coming. The psychic gets to guess what he gets to steal a card from an opponent's treasure hand. If it is a treasure, it gets discarded, and he can continue to do this to all the other players once, unless what he pulls out is a special card, a potion or a talisman. If that happens, that player gets to keep it, and they get to steal a card from the psychic. So that's even more press your luck there. The thief gets to steal a treasure from one of your opponents. The cleric gets to heal an adventure of your choice. So sometimes you'll heal yourself. If you're injured, you heal yourself. Sometimes you might want to heal somebody else because the dragon might be getting close to the end and you want to have somebody else helping you get their temper down and not getting killed yourself. So sometimes it might make sense to heal somebody else. And the coward is crying like a baby without paying any gold, which is cool. The coward. And the wizard gets to reuse the most recently discarded potion. That brings us to those special cards, those potions and talismans. Now the Potion of Light lets you look at the entire dungeon deck, keep it in the same order, but you get to see what's going on there. This one allows you to secretly look at the top 2 cards of the dungeon deck, and you can put them back either on the top or the bottom, or both, depending on which one you want to do. The Potion of Annihilation, it cancels 1 potion that's already played. This one you can heal yourself and make yourself from injured to non-injured. This one looks at the hand of an opponent and steals one of them to add to your card to your hand. Now let's look at the different talismans that's out there. This one here, hiding and crying like a baby, costs your opponents 2 more gold until this dungeon deck is reshuffled, and then the dungeon deck is reshuffled and that's no longer an ability. This one is, you're out of the game until the dungeon deck is reshuffled. So sometimes you can purposely play this to be out because it might be getting low. You let everybody else fight it over, and once the dungeon deck's shuffled, and again, this happens in 1 of 2 ways. Either the dragon comes out or somebody successfully hides. That's when those get shuffled, and that's that. And this is if you draw the dungeon card, you can redirect an attack against one of the other opponents. So if the dragon comes out, you can go, no, he didn't attack me, he attacked you. Some of the cool things you can do. And again, the game either ends when all players die, which means nobody wins, or once this gets down to temper of 0, you add up the treasures of the alive players, and the one who has the most is the winner. All right, well, this is the second fantasy dungeon crawler quick press your luck type of game that came out this year. Earlier, Welcome to the Dungeon came out from Yellow, and it's gotten a ton of buzz. And I reviewed it and I thought it was good. It was okay. I thought it was best with 2. I didn't really like it with as much with more than 2. And it was an okay game. It was a good game. I can see why people like it, but it didn't just totally, in my opinion, live up to the amount of hype that people are doing. Now this game is quite different, yet it's somewhat similar. It is press your luck. It is fantasy. You are fighting the dragon and you're trying to press your luck there and mess with other people. I like this one better, and no, it's not just because it's designed by my favorite designer, Bruno Cathala, although I'm sure that has a lot to do with it, but that's not the reason why. I like this because it plays better with the more people. Welcome to Dungeon was good with 2. This is probably better with more. I like the different special rolls that everybody gets. I like that you can use that, flip it down, the different potions. I like, it's very simple. You got 3 choices. You're either going to go after the dungeon, you're going to charge, you're going to hide, or you're going to cry like a baby. And the interaction between the potions and the treasures and those 3 actions, for me, it was just fun. It's quick, it doesn't overstay its welcome, and it's fun. Press your luck games are always fun for me, and this one's a quick, easy one that has just enough going on to make me as a gamer happy, but yet it's easy enough that I could probably teach someone that doesn't play a lot of games. So if you're looking for a quick, easy, fantasy-filled dungeon crawler, press your luck in 15 minutes, I think this is the best buy out there for that, and that's Dragon Run.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.